What's up guys, in today's video I'm going to show you guys everything you guys need to know about Fantasy Top on Blast. I'm going to show you guys how to farm the airdrop. I'm going to show you how you can become profitable on Fantasy Top. Also going to go over the different things on Fantasy Top to explain what these things mean. I'll go over all that and more in this video. If you guys like this type of content, make sure you guys drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and tell me where you guys are watching this video from. So first things first, we are going to need to create a account with Fantasy Top. But before we create a account, let me give you a quick one-liner on Fantasy Top. Fantasy Top is basically tokenizing different Twitter profiles into these quote-unquote trading cards that you can buy, speculate on, and create your own little deck. This deck that you have, if the tweets are more viral than normal or it gets a lot more engagement, then the card does really well. This is beneficial to you because if your deck is composed of 5 different cards that end up being the top profiles that had the most engagement for the tournament, you will win the most points and you will also win some cards. These cards are worth money. Some of them are worth 20,000, some 30,000, some 50,000, and then also some are worth like 500 bucks, 200 bucks, 100 bucks. But we're going to show you guys how all this works now. So first you need to create a account. You're going to need a invite code. I have Drakeondigital, so I'm going to enter that invite code. This allows you to play in the Fantasy Top tournament, and yeah, it's invite only, so you will need a code as well. So if you want to join, you can use my code Drakeondigital. There's not that many to use, so use what you can, and if I run out or if you can't use it anymore, help me out guys. Drop yours in the comments below so other people can join in the game. Now, it will give you this wallet that you can now send funds to. This is on Blast chain. Now, you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone with this. You're going to be farming the Blast airdrop as well as the Fantasy Top airdrop, and you're also going to enlist in the Blast jackpots. I'll show you that, but it's basically a free lottery you can enter when you are playing this game. Basically, you need to send some funds here. I'm not going to go through that on this account because I already have this set up, but this is what it will look like for you. Now you have a couple of options to get some funds onto Blast. The first is using the main bridge. I highly recommend doing this because this will get you your initial Blast points. You can do this directly on the bridge right here. It's relatively cheap. So if I bridge 0.01 ETH, switch to Ethereum. So to show you what these fees look like, if I was going to bridge from mainnet to Blast, you can see here the fees are $1.16. So, I mean, I think it's worth it to bridge from Ethereum mainnet and get some funds over to Blast and just eat the $1 because you get additional points. Now, if you don't want to do that, you can also bridge via Orbiter or whatever, and those are also going to charge you about $1, $2. So this is the best option. I'll leave a link in the description below for this as well. This will give you your initial points on Blast, and then you'll be able to farm over on Fantasy Top as well. Once you have this sent, then you will be able to enter into the arena. It will look something like this. This is basically a quick overview on the homepage of Fantasy Top. When you first start with Fantasy Top, you will have to, or you can connect a couple of different wallets and you can get your first initial fantasy points. It's for holding like different NFTs, ordinals, all kinds of stuff. So make sure you connect as many wallets as you can and you can get a bunch of points. These are the points that I got just from connecting different wallets. And now we need to create our deck. You can do this via a couple of options. The first is buying a pack, you know, like classic Yu-Gi-Oh card style. You buy the little starter pack, open it up, and hope you get something rare. Well, you're going to be shelling out a pretty penny for this. It's 0.38 ETH. And if you don't have like, I don't know, 1,100, 1,200 bucks laying around, this is probably not going to be your best option. The next option is going to be going to the marketplace and buying the floor cards. There are a bunch of cards that you can grab on the floor. And in my opinion, these are the ones with the best risk to reward. And the reason for that is if these do end up going viral or they get a bunch of tweets, their floor price will climb exponentially. Now, if you have a lot of cash, you're probably going to be best off farming the airdrop and paying a lot more ETH for the other guys. But if you are wanting to get a floor price deck, which you can do, is grabbing some of these cards. I'll show you how to enroll in the jackpots on Blast as well to boost your earnings. But basically buying 5 of these different cards will allow you to get started with your deck. You can see here, this is the list of the amount of cards. There are 290 of these Barat Crimo cards listed right now. So there's plenty of supply out there. And the only source that the supply comes from is opening those packs. So going back to these packs right here, you can see here the floor price is 0.38. This increases the amount of cards in the space by 5. So it's 5 random cards, and there's only so many heroes or so many people on the market and in this game. And you can see here there's people just buying them actively right now, just shelling out ETH. And as people buy, the price of this goes up. But if people stop buying, this will shrink in price. So obviously, if you can get some packs at like 0.1 or 0.15, that could be a better trade over the marketplace, because there's chances that you can pull an Ansem card, or you can pull a Pac-Man card, or you can even pull a Greg card. These are really expensive cards. Like Greg, the current floor price of this thing is 3.7 ETH. So if you're paying 0.1, 0.2 ETH for a pack and you get 1 Greg card, well, you pay for multiple packs. But going to the marketplace, you get your different cards. Now, let me explain a couple of things on these cards. You can, well, first you can filter based off price low to high, or you can just do it based on rank. Usually the higher the rank cards, those are going to be better for you in the tournament. But we'll pull up the Barat Crimo card. If I wanted to buy one of these cards, I can simply just buy the floor price. If I want something a little more than this, I can choose to buy a different rarity. I can buy one that's legendary. I can buy one that's epic. I can buy one that's rare. And these are different points boosts. You see this 2.5, this 2, this 1.5. They are basically points boosts. So if I have a common card, it's only a 1x. Now, if I have a rare, it's a 1.5. An epic is 2. And legendary is 2.5x. The goal is to get more points. The more points you have from your deck, the better off you are in winning the tournament. So in order to get some of these higher end cards, you can either buy them, or you can take 5 of the card floor price before it. So I can burn 5 common cards to get 1 rare card. Now, is it worth it? Is that something you should do? Well, based on these floor prices, you'd be better off just simply buying a rare Barat Crimo card. Now, again, this will take 5 cards to burn to make an epic, and so on, if you wanted to do that. Obviously, that's some math that you can do, but that is the deflation in this. So the inflation is the cards that are pulled from the packs that are open. The deflation is when the cards are burned. So theoretically, the supply is infinite for these cards. So don't be out there betting the farm on some of these random cards thinking, oh, it's going to go to 100 ETH because there's only one in the supply. No, like anyone can mint these things. I mean, obviously it's random, but just something to keep in mind. Now, some other stats you will need to know. I was actually making a comment on Twitter and someone replied to me, but this is kind of the breakdown on the tiers. Now, you have these stars as well. These stars represent how they're doing in the current tournament. The more stars they have, the better off they're doing in the tournament. So I'll give you an example of Pac-Man. Pac-Man was, the reason why I'm pulling up Pac-Man is I randomly had this card. This thing was like worth nothing, but apparently this guy is doing really good. If you don't know who Pac-Man is, obviously he's going to be doing good because he's the dude behind Blast and Blur. He's the main dev. He's like the creator of this Ponzi. But his card is currently at a floor price of 0.2 or 0.38 ETH. So basically around, depending on when you got it, like a 60, 70x. So, I mean, you can't beat that. And that's the point I'm trying to make is you can buy some of these cards on a really low floor price. And if they end up exploding, this is one to grab. So I'll show you my profile to show what's in my inventory. And I currently have a couple of random cards. I bought a couple off the floor and I also opened 2 packs. Obviously, the prices are they're crazy. So me personally, I'm not opening any packs. I do not like that risk to reward. I like preferably I just want to buy them off the floor. So let's just take, for example, we go to Pac-Man. You can see this guy is rocking in this tournament right now for his follower to engagement ratio. This is right here. And if you want to see the full breakdown on where they're getting engagement posts, you can see here, this is the breakdown of their last tweets. It gives you all of them. So depending on the tournament, it's whichever one they qualify in, or at least it's under. And it also gives you some stats on the amount of ETH that they earn from trading fees, the amount of fan points that they have, as well as the blast gold that they earned. The blast gold either comes from jackpots or it comes from just playing in this game. You also get these little star points. These will probably use, well, not probably. These will be used to buy different packs, cards, etc. So they are kind of like a in-game currency. And the fan points, this is basically for your airdrop when the fantasy top token eventually launches. Like we saw with Frentech. Frentech token launched. By the way, if you guys started an account, whatever, go claim your tokens. They're worth something. So Bread actually gives a really good breakdown of what I just explained right there. So you have a couple of options. You can go out there and buy on the market, or you can rip the packs. So depending on the prices, you can determine what you want to do. When you buy on the market, you're only getting a single card. It's market pricing. So you're basically going to buy at one price and the bid is another. So if you're buying at 0.2 ETH, it could be a bid like someone else would be willing to buy that at like 0.15. So you have a spread of 0.05, and that's just the nature of the beast. So also keep in mind on the marketplace, there is a 3% fee. 50% of this goes to the hero that you're buying and or selling, and 50% goes to the treasury. Now, if you rip the packs, you also have the, it's kind of self-explanatory for the packs. The ETH that you buy, this goes all the way to the treasury and you get 5 random cards. This is inflationary on the supply. It's basically coming out of nowhere. Now for the tournaments, you simply just have to register. After you create your deck, you'll be able to register this. I'll show you guys how to do that as well. Don't worry, guys. And then you also choose your hero. And really with the rarities, like we explained, you have 4 different rarities. You have common, rare, epic, and legendary. If you want to get the most bang for, well, the most points for the card, you go with legendary. It's not necessarily the bang for the buck, but if you got a lot of cash, it's best for you to just get a bunch of legendary cards because you can only have 5 in your hand. Now, going back to the fantasy top cards, once you create your deck, I have 5 in my deck. You can see this is 1 in my deck. I have Smokey, I got Pancakes Bra, and I have Zoomer Oracle and Luke Martin in my deck. Luke is just killing me right now. This man needs to make some more tweets. But that's what a lot of people are doing. They're actually paying for bots for a particular Twitter account in order to boost their engagement. So some people are gaming that. But basically what you're going to be doing is building your deck. And then once you build your deck, you're able to enter into the tournaments. The tournaments are right here. This one's already passed, but there are no live tournaments for now to enter. So I'm currently in this tournament right now. I'm getting absolutely roasted. Okay, I'm not getting absolutely roasted, but I'm getting pretty roasted. Fantasy score right now is 1,793. Not so hot. This guy, the highest is Hero. He has 7,751. This guy always tends to be on top of like everything. But you can scroll through the leaderboards and see what's going on this. Now, keep in mind there are different leagues as well. I'm currently in the player league. I need to be as low as possible because I'd get roasted in the other ones. There are different leagues based on your different levels. Obviously, when you're playing with higher end cards and higher end players and getting a lot more points, you are going to level up in your leagues. It's a more fair game because you really wouldn't want to compete against the legends because you'll get absolutely roasted. But they are different playing grounds for other people. Also, one other thing to keep in mind, make sure you guys log in every day and on Fantasy Top, and you can claim your different points. Well, the streaks. You get, after like a 3 or a 4 day streak, you'll get, it's like 5 points or like 4 points or something crazy. Well, not really crazy, but it's a way you can get free points as well. Now, this is where the jackpot comes into play. Once you are getting these different cards, you can actually stake them. So you can add tokens or NFTs. Select NFTs once you buy them. There was a jackpot that was won like 2 days ago, and it won some of this Blast Gold. Each card you had earned like 5 or 6 blast gold, and the prices of gold, you can actually estimate the value right here. It gives you the estimation of points. You can see here it's about 150,000 points. This varies as more and more points are farmed, because points are always going to be farmed and golds, so it's kind of like a teeter-totter. And you can actually get the price of the blast points off of Whales Market. But around this price, your gold is going to be sitting around $11 to $20 a bar. It varies based on the inflation. So if you would have gotten 5 gold bars for one of the little trading card NFTs, you basically would have gotten about $60 for free. Now, putting that into perspective and the cost of these cards, if you can get a bunch of these on the floor price, it's just simple math. Like, you're only paying, what, $33, $35 for one of these cards. And if you are farming the blast gold, this is obviously a very effective strategy, because if the card goes up, then you can earn money from that. And if it wins the jackpot, well, you've basically just got your money back from that. So it's like you're farming blast points, you're farming fantasy top, and you're also farming gold, well, blast gold at the same time. So that definitely helps with it. And you also have the potential of flipping these different cards. Now, I don't recommend going out there and just like buying a million of these cards, because there's a chance that markets get roasted, or blast gold just like is worth nothing, or there isn't even a jackpot that's won. Those are different factors you have to keep in mind, but that is just something to put out there. Now, another strategy is, if you do have the cash and extra capital for buying these different cards, you can size up and get some of these legendary cards and get some of the higher ones. So if you go on the homepage, obviously Greg is basically going to be the #1 on here. This guy, he gets a lot of average views, but you can filter based on this and see what's going on, and you can choose which ones that you want to buy. Obviously, if you have unlimited money, you can buy the top cards, and as the fantasy top ecosystem climbs and grows, typically these will grow with it. Now, keep in mind, if they do introduce more heroes, this will be some dilution on the supply, so your risk to reward is much better on the floor. But if you don't care about that and you're just farming the airdrops, you can go in with size and have some fun with that. Now, if I wanted to create my own deck, I cannot do this right now. My deck is already entered, so I cannot change my deck. But if I wanted to change it, once you go under the tournament, you are able to swap these out. So it'll allow you to remove, it'll allow you to add. There's buttons there for you to do that. Right now, these are my cards. I'm stuck. I got to wait till the tournament's over before I do that, or before I have another tournament. So this will end in a day and 21 hours. Once it ends, points distributed, whatever, you can do whatever you want with the cards. You can choose to sell them. It's entirely up to you what you want to do. Now, going back to the marketplace, it's pretty self-explanatory to purchase. Sorry I didn't give like a demo of that, but you simply just go to the card and you buy the floor price. If you want to sell one of these cards, you can choose how much you want to sell it for. So if you want to sell this for 0.2 ETH, you can do that. You just type in 0.2 and then it will allow you to list it. So you just click list and it will list the card for you. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, as well as that breakdown on how to get started with Fantasy Top. If you guys enjoyed that, make sure you guys drop a like, subscribe to the channel. And if you guys would like to join the exclusive Discord, there is a link in the description below. If you want to get started with Fantasy Top, you guys can get started. The code is Drakeondigital. There's only a couple more invites left. Once it runs out, just use the codes from other people who comment about it. Proverbs chapter 19, verses 7. The poor are shunned by all their relatives. How much more do their friends avoid them? Though the poor pursue them with pleading, they are nowhere to be found. There's lessons in that. Don't be poor. If you are, work your buns off and then you get rich. Peace out, guys.